All right, so welcome. Hopefully you guys can see and hear me. So let me know how the video quality is. Let me know how the audio quality is, and I'll make any changes we need to make, and then we'll get into this. Got a few things laying around here we're going to talk about, take some questions from you guys, talk a little bit about some of the bing bangs on the wall, to quote Mr. Hootie Hoo. We're going to just see how this goes, see what we get into. Pretty much open anything. Mountain shooter. I got some CZ, I guess you meant 457 mags from the local hardware store, 43.49. That's actually a good thing. I don't know how many people, 14. We'll come back to this, but one of the things we're going to talk about is a new prototype mag. Just testing it. This is just a prototype for a guy who's going to be making them. So hopefully another 457 mag option for polymer mags coming on. And yeah, hopefully that'll be cool. Get more options for the 457 is always a good thing. Definitely not a dead rifle. Let's see if I can use the right arm. Bam. There's the custom one. Still very much use that. Let's see who we got in here. We have Mr. Matt Williams. What's up, brother? We have Andy Brainerd. What's up from Iowa? How are you, man? We got Rodney was in here. I think he was pocket dialing us with some text. So we got some messages that don't make a lot of sense. But we got a few in here, 33. So yeah, we'll kick it off. So what have I been doing? Shooting a lot of not rimfire, shooting a lot of rimfire, but also a lot of center fire, and mixing those two. You guys saw the first video of the JP. That's, I think, up there somewhere. Got some new 22 long rifle pistol stuff, all for this DMR thing. I've been huge in this DMR. You guys know that. Let's see. We got Mr. Walter. We have, dude, going to see you at TCR this weekend. TCR. I don't know what TCR is. Maybe. I don't know. What's TCR? Mr. Tim Rink. What's up, brother? We got Tony Tillman. Hello from Hawaii. I'm jealous. It's like 50 and raining all day today, so that sucked. Probably not the case in Hawaii. And if you notice, it's not the camera. The camera's good. This eye is jacked up. So like once a year, my tear duct like just closes up, and it's kind of like if you've ever known anyone who had like a sty, but there's no sty. So my whole eyelid just swells up, and it's on the way down. So I didn't film this weekend because, well, I looked like, I've been hitting a pipe or something. But if you're seeing that, that's what that is. What's up, Mr. Grant Britton? We got the Mad Hatter from Kansas City. I might be heading back out that way here in a little while, not anytime soon, but for a quick trip. Got Mr. Pravada Racing. Appreciate you coming in. And we got a Mr. Rick Lower watching from Kentucky. You picked a lot of tips. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for watching. That's why we do this. Definitely not a lot of other reasons except for you guys, but you guys make it worth it. Zachary Donaldson, excited to see the review on the LCI Stinger. Really happy for Leon. You and I met at the Athlon ELR match in Ottawa, Kansas. Yeah, man, that doesn't seem like a couple of years ago, honestly. But it was 2022, hanging out with Missouri. Chris out there. Had a lot of fun. I was totally unprepared for that. Wish I was a little bit more prepared for that match. Would like to do it again sometime. 70 and rainy on the Big Island. Yeah, 70 is better than 50. That's for sure. L3I says you're getting Stinger. Yeah, I am. So I'm going to get I should get a pre-production. It's a production gun, but I think the very first ones that come off, they're going to be a limited number. So I'll get one of those. And of course, I talked to those guys. I met them out in Kansas and Missouri. They're good people and they know the deal. Basically, you guys on here will know I'm buying it from them at a discount, getting a discount on it, but I'm buying it from them. But I'm going to review it like I do anything else. So they're aware of that. They know. And I told them they're good people. Take them at their word. I told them not to cherry pick mine. I'm not getting anything special. I'm getting the same thing you guys would get. And that's how I like to do it, because then it's a realistic review. And if it sucks, it sucks. If it's great, it's great. Hopefully it is good. They spend a lot of time, so always nice to see new options. Good evening, Mr. Josh Power. Let's see. Yeah, hot water rag. Yeah, it does. It does help the swelling. The problem is the duct gets like blocked, and there's just nowhere for it to go, and it passes. But yeah, that is something that I try and do. Oh, the range complex. Yeah, I need to do that. That is next weekend. I have not been out to Sherb's matches. Sherb runs those. Freaking insanely good guy. I do need to go out there. Maybe it's NRL 22. Maybe I'll take the JP. I don't know. I'll try and make it out there. I've been trying to get out there for months because just to support Sherb. He's a really good guy. Let's see. Do you prefer the Lilja with a 26-inch or 21-inch? I don't think accuracy-wise there's going to be a big difference. The 26 is much quieter, which is kind of a cool experience shooting it, and it's going to help balance the rifle out. So I would think if you're going between the two, I would go 26. As far as, the accuracy potential of the two, I think they're pretty much going to be identical. Maybe if you're shooting bench rest, you might lean more towards 26, but I would say even PRS guys, get the 26. It's quieter. It should theoretically have better SD and ES, and you should have the same accuracy potential. Oh, we got some rule questions. I actually don't know. It's sad that I don't know this because I like to consider myself kind of a friend with Jeremy Walker, who was on the board. I would say, though, if the rules are new, they're probably stemming from some input from Jeremy Walker, who is 22 Lima Romeo on YouTube. And you have Darren DeBoer also on YouTube. And those are some of the best people in the shooting community that I've met. So if the rules are coming from them, I wouldn't even, it's probably not a point for me to look, but I would assume that they are good rules with good intentions coming from those gentlemen. It's overall pick Rimfire and Voodoo. The Rimfire is really nice. You're limited. Fixed extractor. So even when a gunsmith gets it, they're limited on what they can do with headspace because that extractor, you can't cut into where that extractor would be and cut part of the extractor off to tighten up the headspace. Because if you replace the extractor like 3,000 rounds later, now you have this, now you have a problem. So the Voodoo, because it has the sprung kind of extractors, Gunsmith can get away with a lot more, although I do think Rimfire does a better job on their action, consistency. But yeah, for those reasons, and ignition, the Voodoo ignition is a little bit more forgiving. The Rimfire, really you need to pair it with the right trigger sear, and then it works great. But the Voodoo, you can slap any 700 trigger, it doesn't matter. So I would say it's a little more forgiving, both on the aftermarket side for the Gunsmith to really dial in headspace for you, and just for general usership kind of deal. But, you can't use prefits, so kind of is what it is there. We have Mr. Dirt ATV from New Jersey. Nice to see you too, brother. See you hanging out in the comments and stuff and on streams. Appreciate you watching. And we got a local, Fred Shabester. Probably jacked that up. Sorry. Watching from Greensboro, Mebane area. Possibility for CZ 4%. Yeah, I'm like right down the road from you. If you're in Greensboro, Mebane area, I'm within 30 minutes from you. And yeah, with pollen freaking everywhere. Just dumb amounts of pollen. It sucks. We got Mr. Jeffrey Peace from New York. I'm trying to keep up mountain shooter. My 4% only 3 weeks old. It likes SK Red Box match. That's good because that's pretty affordable ammo. And I found some rifle match from SK that worked pretty good. Not sure about NRL rules. We don't have it anywhere near Texas, but I'm glad PRMX qualify. Yeah, PRS. So they did change theirs up a little bit, I think, for the better. And yeah, it's funny how it's regional. You get NRL in some areas real big, PRS in others. It's just kind of funny how that works. Let me get caught up here. Thanks, you. I got a 26-inch Lilja camera. It's easy. Glad Isaac asked. Yeah, it's been a great. I go back and forth. I have several barrels. they'll shut the live stream down. It wasn't going to be a rifle anyway, but I have like 4 barrels for the CZs. I got the factory MTR. I have the Lilja 21 inch, the Lilja 26 inch, and Monocam did me up a Krieger. And you'll see the Krieger in the next video I'm going to release, actually. Just kind of a fun video. New series I'm starting called Impossible Shots, like Rimfire Impossible Shots. Just so new spin, not really, it's kind of trick shots, but more meant to show what 22 is capable of, not really what I can do. I'm shooting it off a bench, but it's pretty cool. I'm using the 457 with the Krieger barrel, and video turned out good. It's going to be quick videos, but just fun. Got Mr. Marty from Pennsylvania. What's up, brother? I got to wear out my 20-inch first, Grant. There you go. What you think about the Victrix? I've reached out to them. Ray had it, shot it. It looks good. It is very expensive. Very, very expensive. I think the problem with the Victrix is it's not going to be a rifle that you buy and want to mod. Because the price point's so high, you're just going to buy it the way it is and shoot it. And it's a very niche group of people who are going to spend that amount of money on an out-of-the-box rimfire. Lots of us are going to spend lots of money on rimfires. But usually we, pay a little in first and then we modify. With the Victrix, I think it's, buy once, cry once. But I am looking to get one to test. It's hard for them to keep them in inventory because they get very few into the U.S. and then they're sold. So I'm working with those guys to try and get one on the channel. May end up just talking to Ray. I do talk to Ray every so often from the X-Ring, and he has one. He's shooting for Victrix this year, centerfire and rimfire, I think. So worst comes to worst, if I can't get one in to test or whatever the case is, maybe I'll just shoot his, and that may be better in my wallet because probably would want to buy it and probably can't afford it right now. Any plans on purchasing a Fierce Firearms Razor 22? No, I really don't know what that is. I will look it up after the live stream. Speaking of which, I'm under threat from the missus. She's upstairs. She may or may not be watching this, but at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, so 40 minutes, 50 minutes from now, I'm going to shut this one down. Usually we go way further than that, but tonight I just switched over. I broke my phone. I had an Android forever. Broke it, got an iPhone. It's been a nightmare going off the rails a little bit, but if you're trying to hit me up on Facebook or you have today, just don't even bother. I can't even get back into my Facebook. I have my Instagram. I have access to YouTube, Google. I just cannot get back into Facebook. And I'm not sure I ever will. So maybe this is just the ideal time to just not be on Facebook. I don't really like it anyway, but if you reached out and I don't respond to you there, then that's why. Let's see. Joined American Rimfire Association, shoot my first match Tuesday. You, Rick, and Ray got me interested. Yeah. Good, man. That's good. It's a lot of fun. It's at its core, it's a ton of fun. And I love seeing new people get into that and have fun with it. I run my Rimex with Timney Hit and believe. Yeah, I love the Hit. The reason I don't think the Hit is the best trigger out there. Like, I don't think, like, the Trigger Tech Diamond, I think, breaks a little cleaner, but the hits never die. You put a Trigger Tech Diamond in an impact action for a centerfire or a Voodoo and you run it long enough, you will kill it. Like, it's just almost a guarantee and an inevitability that you are going to kill it. I've seen so many go down. The hits just don't go down. So I love the hits, and mine are great. I get mine down to 5 or 6 ounces. What else do you want? Like, it's a great trigger. Love them, love them, love them. Let's see. Chance to shoot the 220. No. Oh, that was you. What's up, brother? It's sitting over. Well, where is it right now? It's it's on the, you can't see it. It's just out of frame. I haven't shot it yet. I am so far behind on videos and just everything. It's been crazy, but I have not shot the 224 Valkyrie yet. I really never really planned on shooting it. Like, it's just going to be like, I just have it and maybe one day I will, but I do stuff like that. I make dumb gun decisions daily like that. Let's see. We got Bill Bennett from Florida. Appreciate you stopping in. your top pick of chassis stock for Voodoo, PRS, NRL, XLR MV Pro. And either that or the ACC, the Elite. I've shot the Elites. I don't own the Elite yet. The XLR MV Pro is really nice. Got a lot of good adjustability. And now with the ACC Elite, you get the same amount of adjustability, and both great chassis. But I don't own an Elite yet. Try and get one when I can get the money, rolling back in. Right now, the next thing I have to focus on is ammo. I'm running pretty low on ammo, and that's not a good thing. Being a 22 channel. Got Mr. William Giddens. What's up, brother? Hello from Saipan, Northern Marianas Island. Nice. Appreciate you stopping in. Best rings for 34 mil Athlon Hill. Rings, just get a name brand. They're really all plenty good enough. Now, if you were going to go mount, I would say what gun? CZ, I would get the MPA mount or the spur cantilever, because you run out of room. You typically, on a bigger scope, on the 457s, need to push the scope further forward than you can sometimes with rings. But any name brand, really the rings game is, they perfected that. Like, you're not going to have problems with name brand rings for 34 mils, really, for any of them. We got Mr. Whippler. What's going on? Let's see. Vancouver Island, Canada. What's going on, Mr. David Clark? Let's see. How far am I? I am 30 minutes from Randleman. Well, 25 minutes. I actually go shoot at a range in Franklinville, which I go right through Randleman to get to. And yeah, it's a 30-minute trip for me to get to the range. About 20 minutes before I hit Randleman. Let's see. I must have missed that one. Carbon tension sleeve barrels, no thanks. Yeah, I would tend to agree with that sentiment. PDC, yeah, I shot a Buddy Savage in a PDC. I do like the PDC. I think it ticks all the boxes, and you're not going to spend a lot. Don't expect the finish to be of that of an ACC or an XLR. The finish, not that it's a bad finish, it has a good finish. The finish to me felt rough or slightly not polished, if I could say it like that. But it's a really good chassis. You don't need that in a chassis, and I think that's where you're saving the money. So getting into a chassis for less money than PDC is a very good option. We got Mr. Joe Rea, one of my favorite scope review. Well, I don't know. I don't watch anybody else review scopes. Just this guy, watch him twist on the nips of the scopes and make fun of him. But yeah, what's up, brother? Nice to see you. Realistic group size is 100. 450. So the thing about 100 yards is, you're going to see people on Instagram and Facebook post unreal groups at 100 yards with 22s. Realistic, to me, success at 100 yards. Now I'm talking consistent results. Like, you can shoot 3 to 5 groups and they're all going to fall within this range, would be 0.6 to 1 inch. So, on the good end of things, 0.6, your ammo's hammering, the gun's hammering, the conditions are right. Up to 1 inch. I mean, have I shot better groups than that at 100? Yep. Have I shot way worse groups than that at 100? Hell yeah. But sub-inch at 100 consistently is going to do pretty much whatever you need it to do. But if you're trying to beat 0.5, 0.6s, you're going to have to find the right ammo combo. I've shot 0.3s. I have yet to find any one of my guns with any one lot of ammo that's going to shoot 0.3 to 0.5 every single time I pull the trigger. That probably exists. I can't afford to find it. I already spent enough looking for ammo. So if I hit around 0.6 to 0.8, I'm extremely happy at 100 yards. Let's see. Have you ever tried competing at unlimited bench? I have not. I do shoot the ARA targets all the time. People get so mad, especially the Pinterest guys. I love the paper cardstock material of the ARA Pinterest cards from Kilo. That's why I shoot them, because they print really good groups. They don't tear, and it's easy for you guys to see the reality of what's happening. I don't like the splatter targets because to me, they kind of blow up. So it kind of can make a mediocre group look good and a really good group look mediocre. So I don't like them, but the bench rest target cards are really good. So I have shot them just playing around, but I don't own like a bench rest gun. My scopes are first focal plane. They're a 10th mil adjustment. So, to get a dead center shot, if everything goes perfectly, I'm holding off, in one way or the other. Very rarely do I have one of my optics that zeroes up dead set on, 50-yard, like just center punching it. But I don't shoot them a lot, how they're meant to be shot, but I do occasionally. I haven't gotten to shoot CZ in the chassis yet either. Yeah, that thing's CZs and the chassis is hard to beat. Got a jarred trigger. My CZ, the jards are very nice. I would prefer a jarred. I have the jarred and the Timney. Prefer the Timney for the PRS stuff. I prefer the jarred for bench, but both are great. We talked a little bit about Stinger. I'm going to get one of the very first ones, and I've been harassing them for months. I mean, the text message string is a million miles long even before that, but I've been harassing them. As soon as they're in, I'm going to hit the ground running with it. When I get it, I will release a review probably the following weekend because I will be ready. I will carve out the time. And when it gets to me, I will immediately start shooting it on camera. And yeah, we'll do the first review like that. It'll be probably the first 300 or 400 rounds through it. Be, just shooting it, testing the ammunition I have here with it, seeing if we have failures, and then running it on props, see how it does. Opinion on Lothar match barrel. I haven't shot a Lothar Walther barrel in forever. I don't really have a good opinion because anything I say would be crap I heard from somebody else. So I don't really know. Low in ammo means for me, I have a ton of assorted stuff that I could just shoot. But I'm down to like 2 bricks for the CZ, 2 bricks for the Voodoo, about a brick for some stuff I found for the JP. And then I have a couple bricks here and there of like random stuff, but I haven't went through and like tested and found good ammo for X gun and bought like 6, 7, 8, or a case of it. So that's low for me. Basically I'm at the point where I'm pretty much using just random ammo to make videos because I just can't take away from what I do have tested for the guns that I need for competition. Ooh, Caesar Bergara, which one do you suggest? If you want a true to life 700 trainer, if you shoot a 700 action center fire and you got a trigger use, get the Bergara. If you don't, you just want a good, reliable, accurate rimfire, buy the CZ. CZ, I think, is more likely to make you happier unless you needed to be a trainer, in which case you're going to have to go Bergara. And it's a good rifle, too. I just think the 457 by volume outperforms the Bergara, and you're going to have less trouble out of it. But, they're different rifles for different things. Any thoughts on running a piggyback mount for red dot? For like a DMR setup, I haven't felt the need because all of our targets, you couldn't engage them with a red dot. I do see people running them for faster acquisition. I think it's a band-aid you don't need. I think if you're doing it for faster acquisition, there's better ways of doing it. Like, for instance, you could unmount your rifle and, have your rifle on your shoulder and basically point it at where you think the target is, get in your scope and reference, see where you're at, and find something on your rifle, that 2 points on your rifle or something that you can generally line up and point. And then when you get in the scope, you're in the vicinity. I don't think you need to mount something else to do that. And I think you're better off for it in the long run to not need to use a red dot or have something else on the rifle for something you could train in without, and you don't even need to shoot any ammo to do that. It's going to take you a couple of days of consistent work at it, but then you're going to find yourself coming into the rifle, into the optic, and seeing what you need to see. Mr. Michael Fellman, longtime viewer. Thank you, brother. Yeah, I appreciate you watching. Appreciate you coming on the stream, too. Trying to get through all the questions. I don't want to leave anybody hanging. See, ACC, now I have one. I have one Premier, I am not going to go out of my way to just upgrade it. I do want to buy an Elite, but if you had the Premier, you know, what you're getting is a little more rigid chassis. You're getting a little bit better of a fore-end design. That's not really going to help you or hurt you in the long run, but you are getting a longer magwell front. So I would say if you had problems now with hitting the mag and that being an issue, or if you really needed the mag adjustability, if you use mags that don't have an adjustable catch, and that was something really appealing for you, and you weren't totally invested, like you haven't spent a bunch of money on things that won't transfer over. So things like the night vision bridge on the Premier are not going to work on the Elite. So yeah, unless you just really needed those things, I don't think you need to upgrade, but I don't think you would be sad if you did either. But I just don't think you need to. Funny you mentioned, my buddy buys more guns and wonders why he doesn't have any money for him. That's my problem too. I keep buying crap. I can't really, I can't show you guys on here. I can't. I got a new 22 pistol. I'm going to do a review on it. It's ridiculously expensive. It's purpose driven for the DMR style matches and for training myself, you know, on that stuff and just having some more fun with it. But boy, yeah, I haven't even bought it yet. I'm waiting. I don't know how much it's going to cost me. I'm reviewing it. Then if I want to keep it, which I already know I do, I want to keep it. I don't know it's not going to be cheap. So yeah, I'm in the same boat, you know, it's just something we do. I just bought a bunch of arrows. Yeah, those are great, man, for lot testing. I just like shooting them, and I will shoot all the centers of it. I don't have one. I use one here. I'll shoot all the centers, and then I'll shoot the corner. Actually, let me grab one. People may not know. People may not be in the know. If you were looking for good, these are not that expensive. They come in like 100 pack, but they are thick. And I've left these out in the rain. They work for like days. I got one out, been out in the rain. I'll go shoot it tomorrow. It'll be fine. But I'll shoot the center, and then I'll shoot the corners. Then I'll shoot at the numbers. I mean, I will have just groups all over this thing. I mean, when you go to peel it off the backer, it'll just crumble. I mean, but they're just that good. Great targets. So if you're looking for good targets and you want to be able to leave them out or whatever, yeah, those bench rest targets from Kilo shooting are really good. Let's see. Thanks. Just wondering, I'm in Stoneville, North Carolina. Okay, my neighbor builds his own action utilizing a KK500 trigger and bolt and builds unlimited class rifle and custom guns for it. Nice. That's pretty freaking cool. There are so many. I don't want to call them hole in the walls because that's not a real good explanation of what they are. There are a lot of lesser known gunsmiths in the bench rest game who just kind of build their own actions or for their buddies who do their own thing. And a lot of these guys are really successful and make really good bench rest guns. Oh, sorry. That's freaking pollen and allergy stuff. I've got to have something to drink. Go CZ, don't look back. I'm done with the Bergara B14R. Yeah, Joe had a lot of problems out of his. Mine was actually really good. I had mine modified by MCR. Had a Krieger on hammered. I never shot in competition. And I'm not trying to dog on Bergara or anything. They do make good rifles. But there was like a bad batch of bolt material and people were breaking bolts. And, you know, it's one of those things. I'm not going to drive to a match, pay the match fees, go in, try and be competitive, and then have my bolt break on me. Because I think people here, have met, you know, there's people in here who have shot with me. If I suck, I don't really care. I'm a YouTuber. I don't get to shoot enough competitions. I won't beat the best guys there. I'm just not going to, because if I wanted to, I'd have to stop making videos and go shoot competitions. And I enjoy this more. But one thing that infuriates me is having a wall full of guns. If I go to a competition and my gear fails me, I am pissed off to the 100,000th degree. And so I just won't take it. If I'm not 100% on it, it just won't come with me to a match. And the Bergara just never did. Diminishing in return. I tell you what, really, diminishing returns is based on your physical characteristics. I'm a small guy. I'm 160 pounds. I'm 5 foot nothing. My rifles weigh 22 plus pounds. But if I can be kneeling and pull the rifle out with one hand by the scope and stick it into another port, it's fine. That's fine, because in reality, you're going to carry it to a stage. You're going to plop it on the ground. It's going to sit there, and you're only going to need to hold it for a small percentage of the time. And that's typically when you're waiting for the buzzer to start, and it's going to go on a prop, and when you move it in between. So I don't really think it can be too heavy, unless you physically can't move it. That's going to be a problem. You need to be able to safely and controllably pull the rifle in and out of positions. But if you can do that, you're good. Will you do some match shooting? Yes, I will, for sure. I actually have match footage from the last one that you guys haven't seen yet. I need tonight. I will do what I got to do around the house, and then I'm going to stay up, and I'm going to come back in here, and I'm going to record that. We're going to talk through some stuff. I'm going to show you some of the new gear stuff I'm going to be using, but I'm going to show you that match footage. I don't like to just do a match footage video because they don't tend to do that well. So I like to mix it in. But I will be doing that tonight. And I appreciate you, Rick Lore. Appreciate you stopping in. Hopefully we'll catch you on another one. He said the wife is calling. Yeah, run, brother, run. ACC Elite or Matrix Pro? I don't know anything about the Matrix Pros. The very first MPA rifle I used was BA Comp. The BA Comp just didn't fit me well as a shooter. So I like the ACC more. My best friend loves MPAs, hates ACCs. That being said, it's like a personal thing. To me, I would take the Elite because I've never even shot the Matrix Pro. I would love to try it. Maybe it is better than the Elite, but I wouldn't know as of right now. I enjoy the stock 457 versus Voodoo. A lot like a race car, station wagon. Yeah. Any thoughts on an upgraded but not all-out 4% versus same rifle? I'm going to shoot this one, and the intention of that video usually goes overlooked, because I think the point that when I make those kind of videos, what I'm trying to make is you can make a 457 shoot very, very accurately, even a close to stock one. The accuracy is not what you're chasing. So when you're talking high-level PRS, you're talking consistency. So fitment of parts plays a big role in day-to-day consistency in groups. As environmentals change and things change, production guns aren't, exactly the tightest, and they may move in and out as things grow. So you may get point of impact shifts. The gun that shoots 0.3 today may shoot 0.5 tomorrow, and those aren't things you want. You're going to spend a ton more money, but when you go to something custom like a Voodoo or whatever, you're getting that solid true fitment, and things are more likely to stay relatively consistent. That's really what you're paying for. That the Voodoo is not inherently more accurate than any other gun. It's really going to come down to the ammo and the barrel. And so, you're playing the lottery there, and then you're searching for ammo, hoping to come up with success. So really the intent is to show people that, to do 90% of it, you can use 50% of the gun. But for that extra 10% to be competitive, to shoot against the top level guys who are not going to drop shots, then, that's when you're going to want to pay that extra money. Because, I've had lots of my CZs that were just freaking ridiculously good. That would embarrass most custom guns. But at the end of the day, on the prop, that MTR with that Lilja would not make me as successful as the Voodoo. It just doesn't weigh as much, doesn't bounce as well. I don't have access to the same triggers, all those things. That last little percent. And it's very much like cars. You can go buy a GT500 and, you can race Ferrari. And in a quarter mile or an eighth mile drag race, they might run the same ET. And that's like shooting groups with both the rifles. They may look the same, but you're not paying $250,000 for Ferrari's quarter mile performance. On a road course, then all of a sudden that Ferrari starts walking the dog on that GT500. And that's kind of the same with these rifles. Hopefully I'm not going too far down in the weeds here. Already 4 guns for a month. Boy, it's addictive. Yeah, it's hard not to buy them and hang them on the wall and wish you had more ammo to shoot them. Also makes it on 34mm offset scope rings, blue tubes, and tuners. Nice. Yeah, good machinists can rock about anything out. Best backboard for targets are the signs. Yep, that's what I use. Actually, I buy the USPSA style targets, the IPSC, but they're like the plastic corrugated ones when I run out of signs. But yeah, those things for backers are just like unkillable. You will shoot them for 2 months before they kind of start falling around. Lots of twist rates. Have a 12, wondering about a 15. We're trying. 15, 16, same thing. I mean, you're not going to see, like, if you can get a 15, sure, go for it. If you can get a 16, sure. The 12, I play with the 12s. They seem to be a little bit pickier, and you're trading things. You may get a little bit more stability, which is really, in the real world, it's going to be insanely hard to test and actually see that difference, because wind conditions and all those are really going to affect the bullet at the distance you need to shoot at to see that improvement for a 12 twist. But you're going to increase spin drift. And for me, so I pretty much stick with 15, 16 twist. Like, give me the spin drift I know, give me the bullet profile characteristics I know, and I'll make the rest work. Because typically, by the time you get out to 300 plus yards in rimfire at matches, you're shooting at a pretty big target, and it's more likely going to be a good or bad wind call that makes you hit or miss that target, not the twist rate of the gun. So far, my B14 has been amazing. Very nervous going to a Lieutenant Center X has been showing me amazing groups. Being a lefty and limited options. Yeah, for the lefties, you're kind of the Bergara is a good choice, and the Lapua Center X has always been a really good option. Obviously, I shoot Ely. I do have some Lapua. I don't not shoot it, but in competition, I shoot Ely because I want that silver bullet so I can hopefully see it. Did you build or buy your DMR? Also, what is it? So the center fire I built. It's a 8-ACK lower. It's a green, if I can use the right hand, the green guy right there. It's an 8-ACK lower, Sergeant of Arms, Arca handguard, has a Lilja barrel with her heaviest profile, JP silent capture, buffer system, JP lightweight bolt carrier group, and that's pretty much that deal. And it's got the track 4-25 on it. So yeah, built that one. Kind of the same. The Rimfire DMR setup is the JP, so that is a Lancer L15 lower with a Calvin Elite trigger. Both guns have the Calvin Elites, and it's got the factory JP upper. So I guess they're both kind of built because the JP sells their DMR gun as a complete gun. Now, I got sent the complete gun for review, but I did not keep the complete gun. Basically, I did the review, and I'm still in kind of like the testing, wrong hand again, testing review phase. And I said, hey, I just need the upper. I want the lower to match my DMR gun. So I'm still testing that. But so both, I guess, kind of built. Jarvis barrels. I do not. Maybe somebody else will. Oh, we're actually getting caught up. Sorry, I showed the wrong one. Joel Seifert. What's up, Josh? What is your take on grips? Trigger finger bulge or MPA, MCAM, adjustable cant and position with MDT? I mean, the MDT is good. Let's see. Oh, I thought I had another ergo. I've tried this long shot precision one. This would be good for a bench gun. Kind of fills your hand up. I tend to run the ergos or the MDT. I really don't have a preference between the two. I don't need a whole lot going on because my shooting grip is weird. We've talked about it a little bit before, but typically, somebody's normal shooting grip would be to kind of wrap their hand around the grip and then pull the trigger. I don't really do that. What I do is take this part here, palm my hand, and I rest it kind of on the side here, and I curl my fingertips in, put my thumb up on the stop, and then I push in the trigger. Not saying that anybody should do that. That's what I do. So basically the grip is almost irrelevant to me because I just put my hand against it, curl my fingers in, and that's how I shoot. So I may be the worst person to ask about best grips. Let's see. Close friend bought Voodoo last week. Nice gun. Which GoPro would suggest? Tracked, Athlon, etc. That's a really, I'm going to put it back on you. Give me price points. I can definitively answer this based on a price point. But without a price point, I'll just say without a price point, I'm just going to tell you to get like a Zico, because they're amazing scopes, or Tangent Theta. So shoot me some price points, and definitely will chime in on that. Familiar with Apex? Yeah, I did. I reviewed the 4-32, the Apex Rival. I like the Apex. I think the track personally had the same or maybe a hair better glass for less money. The Apex in the US, because it's Canadian optic. In Canada, if you're in Canada, the Apex Rival is probably the better option because they're equal money. But here, the Rival's $2,000, the track $1,700. And I think you're saving $300 and you're not losing anything unless you love the turrets of the Rival. If you got to have that style turret, then obviously don't get the track. But yeah, I mean, against those two, it was a good optic. I did like it, but here it's $2,000, and I think it's $300 overpriced to be competitive. I still think if you bought it, you wouldn't be upset. But if you had it next to a track, same money, you're not going to look through the Apex and say, "Oh, there's that $300." It's not going to happen, unfortunately. But again, it's made and marketed for Canada. When it comes here, it costs more money. It just has to. It's imported. Appreciate you, Mr. Power. We'll catch you on the next one. Let's see. Jared Wells. Ida from Guam. What's your favorite match chamber ammo? Really, I don't have a preference. The JGS, I mean, all the match chambers are good. Some favor some ammos better than others, but from my experience in knowing Gunsmiths, I've seen plenty of, chambers that were, this chamber is built for Lapua. That shot Ely, lights out. And I've seen, chambers that had more lead angle that would be better, supposedly for Ely, hammer Lapua. I mean, so just, get whatever you think is going to be the best, and you're going to find ammo for it. I mean, let's see. Mr. Copper State, what's up, brother? Appreciate you jumping in here. Another YouTuber. Always nice to see you guys in the chat. Any plans with 10? I could not shoot any, I shot one monthly course fire. That was in March, and I just couldn't make it any to my schedule at work and with the Army National Guard and YouTube has just been crazy. I'm falling behind. But I'm going to be at RMAC at the same time NRL 22 Nationals is, which I hate because Ruth and those guys up there are really good people. But I had to pick one or the other, and I just have so many friends who are going to be at RMAC. Mr. Joe Rea, Chris Turk from up North Oregon, or Keith from 68 Whiskey, hopefully my buddy Norm. To me, it's a big social event, so I had to go with that. Same with PRS. I haven't been able to shoot any matches. I wish I could get out more and do that, but it's just the YouTube. For me, my precedence of priorities is family, my 40-hour-a-week work, YouTube, the North Carolina National Guard. I hate to say it like that, but it's a part-time gig. YouTube is almost a full-time gig for me, and then matches. And so you carve out one weekend a month for the National Guard stuff, weekends for family stuff, work stuff, and then YouTube. It just doesn't leave a lot left, unfortunately. Yeah, no limit price point. Yeah, buy a Zico or Tangent Theta. I would say probably the Zico, crazy good. The Razor, Gen 3, crazy good. And don't sleep, on some of the other stuff. But I mean, buy a Zico, man. I don't see anybody buying one pissed off in the long run that they bought one. And good stuff. I live in Alberta. Apex awesome. Really like it. Yeah, I think it's a great option. Being regionally, if you're in Canada, buy the Apex. If you're in the US, to me, buy the Tract. Or, good segue. You guys will see a video with this and get in. The Mark IV, I got that guy in there. PR2 reticle for testing. Retails $1,500. I think really going to be a big splash, but not perfect. I don't want to get into it because I got a review video coming. Great scope, not perfect. Trade-offs, of course. $1,500 price point. There's always trade-offs. But I think some fair ones, and I think it's going to be a big hit and be really popular. Best scope under 2,000. Oh boy. Easier part of this question is the Maulerworks barrels. I think their barrel blanks are freaking fantastic. The minimally invasive rifling, it does really well. Promotes less cold bore or dry bore shift, whatever you want to call it. Those of you who saw that video, hey, you saw it. I'm done with the debate on all that. My findings were reproducible. And the Maulerworks is one of the barrels I found that, all minimally invasive rifling will have less cold bore shift. The more aggressively rifled barrels like Kriegers, things like that, will have more. You can defeat it. But the Maulerworks barrel blanks, great barrels, can't go wrong. Best scope under $2,000. The problem is there's the Zeisses that are right at $2,000. And I think they are a freaking hell of a scope for the money, but I don't have a ton of time behind them. But by default, because I trust and value Ray from X-Ring's opinion, I think Ray would say that the Zeiss, the S3. And, he's got way more experience with it than me. Personally, I'm probably going to buy Tract, but it's because I don't have the experience. But I would say the Zeiss is probably the best under $2,000. Let's see. We only shoot 50 yards, no dialing. What scope can I get without praying? If you're only shooting 50 yards, honestly, do not spend more than $400 or $500. Get an Arkin SH4, Burst Match Pro ED if you think you're going to shoot further than that eventually. And depending if you're doing bench rest or just purely target, go second focal plane. Spend even less. The good scopes above $200, they're not going to lose their zero. They're going to hold their zero. They're going to be fine. And at 50 yards, it's not like you need a crazy amount of glass clarity to do what you want to do. So I think you're pretty much sky's the limit for whatever you want to do. 457 barrel, which MR shoots TAC-22 like my stock barrel. Have 90% in the case left. Don't want to go searching for ammo. That, sir, is what I call an unanswerable question. I would say anybody who answered that question would be lying to you. The problem is you could take 10 barrel blanks from the same manufacturer, from the same machine, and they're probably all going to like a different lot of ammunition or different brands. So it's literally, I would love to be able to answer that for you, but it's literally not answerable. If I told you something, it would be bullshit. I would literally just be bullshitting you. So yeah, just roll the dice. TAC-22. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you're going to be rolling the dice no matter what you do. Look at Ride-On. Yeah, I have a bunch of Ride-On scopes. Not a bunch. Let's see. I got one here. I just haven't had a good reason to put this on film. I've tested this a bunch. This is our 1-10 LPVO. That thing's been rock solid. Really good. I've got some of their other mid-range scopes. I haven't had any problems with them. Ride-On, Blackhound, and I'm trying to remember the bigger name. They all come from the same OEM. I tend to not like that OEM as much as Light Optical, who makes, Night Force, Tract, a bunch of the other guys. I tend to like the scopes from Light Optical for little nuancy things, but let's see. Where's Nationals for? It's in the Midwest or Northwest, I guess you would say. Maybe not even Midwest. I'm trying to remember the state they live in. Oh, wait, for PRS. I have no idea. I don't know for this year for PRS. I was thinking NRL. Let's see. With scopes, if you don't like the reticle or it doesn't work for you, isn't what you need. The scope's kind of worthless. Yep. And that's the big thing. it's the reticles are totally preference. And, there's things I think a lot of people don't consider, and that's magnification range. Like, what are you doing with it? If you're shooting, and the answer differs. If I'm shooting center fire, then, the up to 36 power scopes make a lot more sense because the targets are going to be further. So you're going to be higher on the magnification range. So that reticle is going to be more usable. So like the Theos, the 6 to 36, I don't particularly care for it for rimfire, PRS, and NRL style shooting, although I use it for that and I love it. The problem is you need to be higher magnification. So for me to get to a usable reticle, I'm at 16 power. Whereas if I was on a scope that was 4 to 25, 4.5 to 35 to 30, I can be at 12 power and have the same size reticle that's usable where I can see the subtension. So on a DMR scope, you may want to be at a 5 to 25, 4 to 20, because you want to be peeled out. So, your use will dictate first focal or second focal plane and your magnification range. And then it's up to you as a consumer to decide how much money do you want to spend, because all these scope, brands are more money for better glass as you go up in features. So if you're really honest with how you're going to use it and what you need and want out of a scope, you kind of narrow the field really quickly for yourself, especially when you throw a price cap on the budget. And most of these scopes are really good. There aren't a lot of scopes on the market that are charging way more than what they're worth. More often than not, with a reputable brand, you are paying for what you're getting. And most of it's just going to be personal preference. Floating dot reticles, I personally like them a lot. I don't think I could do without some sort of floating dot or floating piece reticle. I have to have that. I'm not going to buy scopes without that. So for me, it's very much personal. And yeah, scopes are so subjective. Pearson has to be a gas. Oh, that's right. It is a Gadsden. Man, dang. Yeah, that would have been a freaking good excuse. I miss Gadsden. Gadsden's got a lot of, it's a very cool place to shoot with a lot of very cool people. I miss, for any of you Missouri boys that are in here, I miss you guys, miss shooting with you. I had a lot of fun training in Missouri for 7 months back in 2022. Did a lot of shooting out there and had a ton of fun. Really super good people out there in ranges and just a great time. And NRL, there we go. Mr. Copper Star got me. Appreciate you, brother. That's a guy who's probably going to be going to these. That's like me. I'm the piece of crap YouTuber this year. Like, I just haven't had time and just am not going to any serious competition. So I have no idea when they are right now. We're getting about the 10-minute mark before you guys witness me getting murdered by my wife for being on the live stream for too long. The funny thing is I always tell her I'm gonna stop at 10:30, and then at 11:30 I walk upstairs and I can feel her glare like through the stairwell. Like, it's like walking in on an ambush. It's there and you got to do it. Like, you got to kick the door in and go in and take your licks. Don't want to get invasive. What's a trusted gunsmith where I'm building CZ for open class, relatively unsure where to send my action, barrel blank? Howdy, Joel. Of the guys that I know, the experience I have, Kenny at Desert Precision Gunworks will build you a full custom. I'm not sure that you can send your stuff to Kenny. And Jonathan at Monocam Custom Rifles. Jonathan is just amazing gunsmith, super good people. And if you have a barrel blank in action, I do know you can send that to Jonathan and you will not be disappointed. Kenny, I don't know if he will take your action. I think you kind of have to buy it from him. He provides the action, the blank. So if you have an action in blank, you're probably better off hitting up Jonathan at Monocam Custom Rifles. And I've been in the shop. I've tested stuff over there. I've been in that guy's business enough, like just testing things and, hey, can I come over and try some things, to know that he is a gunsmith who cares more about the product you get back than what he's making on the front end of it. And, because the gunsmithing isn't his whole deal. I don't want to get into his personal business. But I can 100% say that you can send your stuff to him and you will not be disappointed. What's up, Mr. Brian? You joining us right at the end, man. Is the P322 worth it? 22. Yeah, man, I got it up there. I love it. It is just light. I wish they made a grip module or something for it. It is just so light. So mine runs really well and it works really well. And you get the high capacity mags and I love all that. But if you've ever had a super light gun and you're using it, like for me in the DMR matches under pressure at time, you whip that thing up, your nerves are already going. You're already going to have like that tremble. And a light gun is just going to tremble along with you. And you're going to see your dot just dancing. And I know that that's me. But if I put a heavy steel frame gun in my hands and I'm, under that same deal and I'm the same piece of crap pistol shooter with the other gun, but this one mutes a lot of that. And I tend to shoot the heavier pistols better. So I think it's, it's a great gun. If you're just going to shoot it, mine was crazy accurate. Didn't let up. I didn't get any of the problems other people. My mags worked great. Didn't let up. I mean, it's still great. Sitting up there, I could take it out right now and rock steel with it, no problem. Epic Arms. Oh yeah, that's another fellow Canadian. Love that dude. he needs to save some roids for the rest of us. So he's getting huge, man. Has Discovery Service, so we probably tried. I haven't. I talked to him. I think we just haven't gotten back together. I've been busy. He's been busy. He sells the Discoveries. I haven't ever reviewed one. I know several people have, but I need to get on that and check one out because they are, I think, probably a viable low budget option. Thanks. Appreciate you, the Mad Hatter. Oh yeah, I doubt you're gonna find anybody willing to let go one of those these days. I appreciate you, Mountain Shooter. Last minute questions. Let's get in. If you got anything you wanted to ask, I will maybe extend 5 minutes, and let the wife really, beat on me after this. But shoot up any last minute questions. We're probably going to kill this in a few, and I'll get up and do my chores. And I appreciate you, Chris. Thank you. I had a piece that did not reach the lead. Yeah, I don't know if they, when you had yours, Rich, I don't think they fixed that. Mine has been freaking flawless, but I've heard most people have that. Most accurate FX Impact M3 ammo. I mean, the pellets JSB, I've had a lot of success with the Zan slugs and the javelins. I would try both of those for slugs. Zan, both of them, up to 40 grains is really good ammo. Both the Zan and the javelins. I've shot both and had good luck. Thank you, let me pick your brain. No, I appreciate you. Thanks for showing up. I love to talk about this stuff. If I didn't have you guys to talk about this stuff and to watch the videos, then I wouldn't get to do half the dumb stuff I get to do now, which is pretty awesome. So no, I appreciate you guys. Because without the channel and without you guys, I would probably still have one gun, and God knows what I'd probably have bought more dirt bikes that would have been stolen again or something. Who knows? Is the WMR? Yes. There's no difference in the action. So the mag spacer just comes out and it becomes a 22 mag action. So the mag spacer dictates whether it's 22 long rifle, 17 HMR, or 22 mag. So if you remove the spacer, now you're 17 HMR, 22 mag. You can just put on whatever barrel. So the great thing about those. B14R versus FX Panthera for NRL 22. It's got to be the 22. Even a B14, the airgun stuff is really, really good. It's just not quite there yet. Rimfire has a benefit of getting this peak pressure spike, right? Which actually sets that bullet back as it propels that bullet. It kind of smacks it. That bullet sets back and seals in the barrel. That doesn't exist in the air rifle. The air rifle, so inevitably the air rifles will be more sensitive to ammo conditions, those kind of things. It's just the way it is. I do think there is a time coming where we will see the air guns take the 22s, where it's like they're very close now, but the 22s edge them out. Let's see. Give me Wife's phone number. I'll explain him how much we appreciate her having a minute. Yeah, I don't think she would probably be. Trust me, I've tried to explain that. I don't think she cares. Top 3 places. Kilo Shooting Sports for Ely. Freelands for Ely and everything else. And what's another good one? Creedmoor usually has a good selection, but I'm forgetting one. But if you want Ely, Killer Shooting Sports, the test center for if you want, any availability for Lapua. No burning quest for now. Thanks. Well, I appreciate you, brother. But yeah, the ammo you can Creedmoor, Freelands, Kilo Shooting Sports, all good. But yeah, there's a good one. Blue Collar always has a nice selection. They're actually local in North Carolina. They ship super fast, and they're just really good guys. Actually preferred the SH4. I don't know why, but my SH4 didn't have as tight as iBox. And I didn't really see any huge, there wasn't like no 9-day difference. And I think you save a little bit of money. So for me, I would just take the SH4. If I was going to buy another one again, I'd just buy the SH4 and be done with it. Nothing wrong with the EP5, but I just didn't see a big enough difference to make me want to spend more money. Have you heard Wind Gunworks, Jordan? Yeah, they're going to be doing all lot testing for Ely. So the Ely test center shut down, and Wind Gunworks took over. So which is cool because you'll still have Killer Shooting Sports, which will offer just ammo. That's how I've always kind of lot tested. I went to both. I went to the Ely Test Center and Lapua Test Center. Both good experiences. I prefer to test at home. So a place like Kilo or Freeland, something where I can buy it by the lot. That's how I'm going to continue to do it. But for people who don't want to go through that, it is nice that Ely finally is opening a test center that somebody can use. And a good point before I let's see. Good point. The SH4J is the one that you want. That's the one that I tested. I actually don't know if the SH4 is worth crap. Now I think about it, I'm glad Chris brought it up because I tested the SH4J and not the traditional SH4. But yeah, I would take the SH4J over the EP5 just because iBox. If you're going to shoot NRL or PRS, you may find yourself shooting weak side, and that iBox is going to punish you. So having that little bit there is definitely going to take. And former 54 Bravo here. What's up, brother? Nice having you in. You caught me right at the very end. Take two more questions really quickly if you guys got them. Appreciate everybody coming in. I got off the rail here. Very soon, I'll leave out with this. I have a way to film through the spotting scope. So the tracked spotter review, I'm going to actually use this in the next day or two for the long range part of the review on the JP4 or JP4, the JPAR22. So we're going to get a look at that with the other stuff. We talked about it. You'll see another little thing about this. I'll do a budget gear review thing on this prototype 457 mag. And the same guy who does that is the same guy who sent me that Amazon optic, the Armstrong Enterprises. He came out with his Christmas tree stuff, so we're going to talk about those again, probably on a on the budget gear review side of things. But those are things that I pulled out here to talk about and didn't talk about any of them until the very end. But yeah, so pretty cool. The digital scopes, I'm not a big fan. I mean, I think they're getting better, but they're a camera with software to put a reticle on them. That's what they are. Typically, they're overpriced. So they're okay. I mean, they are not going to compare or compete with a regular optic. Now, if you have to record, if you have to do day-night things and you're doing it on a budget, then hey, why not? But yeah, they will not compare to glass because it's a camera. So I mean, it's a kind of fixed power thing, and then it's just going to crop in digitally, and that's never as good as optically. They just can't compete. But yeah, so it's 10:04, about to be 10:05. I appreciate you guys coming here, hanging out on the live stream. Hope the audio and the video was decent. I'm like too cheap to buy the 1080p version of StreamYard. So this is 720p. It is what it is. But thanks nonetheless. Had 100 of you guys on here. So that tells me that I am being a slack ass and I need to get on here and probably do another live stream a little bit more frequently. So if you have something that you want to cover on a live stream in the future, then let me know. You know, a topic of interest maybe. There's all sorts of things. I really don't have any like secrets. If you guys want to do something on what it's like to be a gun tuber, you know, like what YouTube pays me, how I get paid by things, how I get products, what a pain in the ass all that is, if it's worth it to be a gun tuber, we'll do that. Some people want to do that. If you want to do product stuff, we'll do that. But just drop a comment, not in the live comment section because I won't see it after this, but you know, in the other part. But thanks, guys. Appreciate all you coming, and we will catch you on the next one.